a geoholic.
Falling asleep at the wheel again, baby.
Here we are, buddy.
Here we are.
Oh, man. Someone was saying this isn't their first rodeo this morning. This is our first rodeo when it comes to Hexagon Live.
This is our first rodeo at Hexagon Live. And it is amazing.
It is amazing. It absolutely is amazing. And I had no idea. You mentioned it yesterday when we were walking around, like the vastness, the footprint that Hexagon has their fingers in. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, like a little. So there's some GPR over there. There's an excavator with machine control.
AI,
right next to that is a guitar played by a robot. Whole playlist of songs. It's got automated. It's crazy. NASCAR thing over there. Yeah. Like precision machine controlling. To me, that's what they partner with Hexagon with. There's a basketball hoop. I haven't checked that out yet. There's an actual robot walking around talking to people. Like
I haven't even seen that yet.
It's right over there. It's behind that.
A humanoid?
Yes.
A humanoid.
It's an actual real life robot.
You know what we're not seeing? A blimp.
We haven't seen a blimp, but there's a lot of stuff going on.
Cables and stuff everywhere. All I can say is if you have not been to Hexagon Live, you have to get here because it is incredible. And this is only day one.
The venue is amazing.
I mean, oh my God. Dude, this resort,
Fountain Blue, man.
Everything.
All the food last night was freaking awesome. Cocktails were great.
Yes.
The room, it's all nice and new and fancy, and it might be a little bit above our pedigree here.
Could very well be. And they set us up with the best booth ever.
Oh, I haven't started on the booth. Everybody at Hexagon has been great, very gracious. Had us, easily the best booth we've ever had. Yeah. For a change, we walked up and everything was already done. We didn't have to steal a table or hijack somebody else's power. It's been amazing. I'm excited for today, a packed day. I mean, we're going to talk to a lot of people. Same thing tomorrow. I mean, all in all,
just a great experience.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to be here, and I can't wait to see what the next 2 days are going to bring us.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. First one of the day.
First on deck.
We better be prepared because we are going to have a massive day today.
I have a feeling it is going to be a wild, busy day.
I think we've got 4 or 6 on the calendar, pre-scheduled
6.
Plus everything else that's going to fill the blanks.
No, it's going to. Are you ready for this?
You know what? I am.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I got about 3.5 hours of sleep last night.
Me too. Solid.
Yeah, but it was a good 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So good time last night. Just bouncing around the exhibit hall here just a little bit. So much cool stuff to see.
Yeah. We're gonna have more to.
I'm blown away already.
But yeah.
Well, let's get into this. We got Steve with us. Real quick, Steve, if you would just give us a self introduction, name, who you're with, and what you do.
First of all, gentlemen, an absolute pleasure. Lovely to see you both. Thank you for inviting me on. So, Steve Thurgood, I'm a business development manager for Hexagon Geosystems. I'm one of those people who geeks out on stuff. So I get into deformation monitoring. It's exciting when it goes wrong. Really, it's the idea of having measurement. I mean, a lot of people can do survey and they can measure once and they measure twice and then they look at the change. Hey, that's monitoring.
Yeah.
So if you look at that, everyone has the skill. Everyone can do the job, but actually how many get into it? And I always like to look at it as an opportunity.
Yep.
So, I mean, I've been a land surveyor. I've got grey hair, approaching 50. I was a land surveyor for sort of 25 years, happy with it, loved it. And in the last sort of 15 years of my career in land survey, I got into monitoring because I'm a statistic guy. I love that geeking out on repeatability of survey. And survey for me, that's monitoring.
So you define monitoring as the second time you measure the same thing, you're now monitoring.
Basically, anytime you're looking for change, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What makes somebody a better measurer than somebody else?
It's never about being better at measurement, I think. It's being about more consistent with the way you do it or having the right approach. I mean, I'm always quite, you can hear my voice, but quite a little bit excited about seeing new schemes, new proposals for doing things. Can we push the engineering limit further?
Yeah.
Can we actually do things smarter, safer, for less time, for less effort, just because we use some technology to augment our process? And really that's what monitoring is. And if you think about, one of these mega projects where monitoring and survey is about, 1-2% of the budget, But if you employ that scheme correctly, you can save a lot more than 1 or 2% of the overall construction.
Definitely. That's a really good point and so true.
Take a step back. Your position or your job, your career right now, what is the Geosystems program look like? Like, how is that different than the rest of Hexagon in general?
So, I mean, for us, as you say rightly, I work for Geosystems, and it's all about, as we say, we do things for land surveyors.
Okay.
So, you're talking about the gentlemen and the ladies who go out every day with a total station tripod or a laser scanner or GPS or whichever. For us, it's how do we get those people doing the right job the right way and doing it the optimum way?
Sure.
That's what it's about.
Yeah. So what percentage of your job is educating your clients, your customers?
It's not just educating them, but actually, hey, I'm not a Bible preacher here, but I'm always showing them the light, the best way to do something.
Sure.
What percentage? I'd say, probably 30-40% of the time I'm enlightening people on the path.
Enlightening. I like that. Yeah. So talk about some really cool applications for monitoring that you've seen or been involved with.
So, I've had a career doing everything from building car parks to sort of airports, runways, high-rise buildings, tunnels, railways, roads. I've done a few things. I've even done someone's basement in their house. It's a surveying job. Things I love. I worked in London and the UK. We had a mega project there. It was a project called Crossrail. They basically went from east to west and put a new tunnel straight through the city. This then had sort of dual trains, one each direction. And as you go through London, it's like any city. Nobody wants to dig a hole in the ground and everything fall into it. So what do you start doing? You start measuring things. How much is if I dig a really big hole here, how much is that ground giving way? How much is everything moving? What can I do? Do I really need a factor of 2 on safety for everything? Can I narrow that down a bit? Can I just watch what's going on and then prop it up safely again when I'm going forwards? So, yes, I look at this type of thing. I get excited by this type of thing. For me, seeing the potential investment in technology and the saving for it is where I'm going for. The projects where I look at high-rise buildings, and one of the things I've got to talk on Wednesday in the afternoon about, one of the things is, how do you position something in the sky when it's moving? Now, you think about a high-rise building, it's sitting there in the sun and it expands away from the sun.
Yeah.
And then it moves in the wind. And then as the crane swings around, it moves around again. How do you get that in the right position? Because if you just build it straight, well, when the sun's gone away, it's leaning over. And when the wind's not blowing so hard, you're not in the same place because you were forced somewhere else. So how do you get that right? And that's a positioning challenge, but it's a monitoring challenge because you're positioning something in the sky.
Sure.
Doing it over and over again.
But how do you wrestle with the idea that it's moving and the whole, your entire career is based on this one spot is always this one spot. And that's where the spot is. I'm going to keep finding that same spot.
I think you just have to accept that you're going to be wrong all the time. But how wrong are you going to be is actually the art of it.
Yeah.
Because what's a sort of a construction site, land survey or engineering survey doing?
Yeah.
They're minimizing error all the time.
Sure.
Their job is to make sure it doesn't go too wrong.
Yeah.
If you look at a tall building, actually the taller it gets, the more weight's added on, and that at the bottom actually then starts to compress down. So you build it 100 meters up, you build it 300 meters up, or 900 feet, whichever. And actually, if you just left it there, it would suddenly start to compress down. Like when you wake up in the morning, you're taller than at night because your spine compresses. So how do you then track that? All the engineers go, it's quite simple. We build the building taller than we want, so it shrinks back to the final place. But how do they know everything that's going on every day and measuring? And we have the technologies to put little sensors in the buildings and measure the compression floor to floor. And it's really sort of simple stuff. Almost a simple engineering tool to get you to where you want to be. And
Stephen, there's nothing simple about what you just said. I mean, the concept is simple, yes, but
Yeah, I mean it's amazing. So do you think like stuff like this should be overseen by a licensed land surveyor, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, if you put an untrained person in the position, what are they doing? They're using what they think is best, but do they have the backup to it? You know, most people can drive a car. How many of us right now could do it as well as a Formula One driver or an IndyCar driver? You know, there is a completely different level between you driving a car and being a race driver. It's the same thing in principle, but it's not. So that's why you need you really need a seasoned professional in these roles.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent time at university. I've got a string of letters after my name, but that's not the thing that actually makes me the professional.
Yeah.
It's the fact that I've been there, I've learnt, I've experienced, I've done, I've then reapplied that intelligently the next time.
Yeah.
And that's actually the key. Yeah, we sat in the keynote this morning, the three of us, and before it came on, there was something on the screen and it was saying certain words. And did you gents know what a jiffy was before? Because people say, I'll be just a jiffy.
Yeah.
And it came up on the screen. I went, I've learned something today.
Yeah.
I now know what a jiffy is.
Yeah.
right, yeah. You said something earlier, and I want to go like the concept of you have a factor of safety, right?
Yeah.
And that factor of safety exists because you're not able to measure something, so you just assume that it's going to move a little bit. So, all right, it might move 10%. Let's make it 2.0. But now, with all this technology, you can now actually measure a lot of things that we hadn't measured in the past. How do you apply that to basically, how do you sell it to your customers of you can be less safe, but more accurate? I mean, do you know where I'm going there?
I know what you mean. I would never say less safe because that's
but you are lowering the factor of safety.
What we're doing is we're working smarter all the time. So, actually, you could put thousands of sensors on a building and most of them would be a waste of time. Right. What you need to do is deploy things smart. So if we want to know about the compression, this vertical compression of the building to get super elevation, that's what it's called. We could just hang a steel tape down the building.
Right.
And then just on every floor, just go down with the level, just measure off where we are. Yep. But then the steel tape will expand and contract with air. Concrete core will expand and contract with and it's what makes you think this adds value. And that's what you need to sort of discuss with the customer. Everyone can drive a car, as we said. Everyone can have a skill set. Everyone can survey. But actually, you really need the right knowledge to apply that in the right way to understand. Because, hey, when you bought your last TV, what did you do? You just went out and went, oh, there's a nice one over there. It's an 80-inch TV. I'm going to have that on my wall, watch the football. Or did you go, right, that one there. Actually, I can see from this field of view how it looks, this contrast ratio. You assessed it, basically. Mm-hmm. You did this risk assessment or you did this engineering analysis, whichever way you want to put it, to understand this is the parameters of where I want to get to and this is where I want to sort of match through. And it's no different with construction, building and monitoring. You look at it and you say, I can either go in blind and I have to put twice as much risk, reserve there, or, right, it's going to cost me this to put technology there to do it. Is that cost more than I would save for safety factor, or is it less? And if it's on the right side of putting the sensors there, put the sensors there. Make your project more lean. Take that opportunity.
Yeah. I got to think most of the time it makes sense, right?
But do you?
I mean, the two-story building, I'm probably doesn't need the sensors you're talking about, but in most use cases, do you find that you can always find something that adds value?
Yes, and it's always something different. every project, every building, it's got walls, it's probably got windows, it's probably got a roof. They're pretty much the same thing. But then again, if you think one of them's called the Burj Khalifa and the other's called,
right,
whichever it is.
But the ground's always different.
It is. And we were looking at one recently, and it was going to be the first building, which is going to be over a mile high. And then the design for it, they worked it out, the ground couldn't hold that. So now it's just a measly kilometre high building.
Oh, that's so disappointing.
Nothing. I wouldn't want to walk down the stairs if there was a fire, I'll tell you that.
No. Could you imagine? So what are the tools that are being used for that type of monitoring, for example? Like if you're monitoring a multi-story building like that, like is this a situation where you have like a permanently mounted robotic total station and it just does its thing and hits these, various targets?
Well, let's not talk about the tool building. Let's imagine it's your house. Right. And actually, here comes Steve, and he's going to dig a nice big tunnel underneath your house. What are you going to be concerned at? First of all, you can think, is my garden going to disappear? Is the house going to list over to one side? I'm going to get some cracks in the walls, things like this. So there isn't always, this will solve everything.
Yeah.
What you need to do is look at which technology will solve which problem. So the total station, absolutely fantastic for X, Y, Z positions. You can get them that have a scanning ability. So then actually, let's look at sort of something, pick something in any building, let's imagine it's the Lincoln Memorial. Yeah. Is it Lincoln Memorial? Lincoln Monument?
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to go drilling in prisms to it, would you? So what do? How do you make sure that that's not moving? Well, you could glue things on. Are you going to damage it? But actually the better thing to do is do a non-invasive thing and do a scan of it. And this could be an RTC 360. It could be a multi-station from Leica. What you don't need to do is destroy something to save it. And that's a really important point. But you can do all these different things. And coming back to your house where I'm tunneling underneath, I could put tilt sensors on it. I could do a scan. I could use some LiDAR from a space satellite and measure what's happening in the ground around. I could put some drill holes in the ground and measure the water pressure if I'm affecting things. There are so many different applications for so many different bits of technology that actually it's a playground. And you've just got to pick the toy you want to go with.
Yep.
So your house.
Yeah.
Let's imagine that the structural engineer says to you, Steve's going to tunnel here. You want to be looking at the weak points, the danger points. Once they identify those, you say to me, you're not allowed to cause this amount of damage. So I said, well, the way for me to measure that would be a total station, a digital level. Once you understand what you want to measure, then I can sell the idea to you of how to resolve this.
But do you
the right tool for the job.
Do you find yourself having to, back to Kent's question, to teach your client what the right tool is?
Yeah. I mean, I'm from the UK, and over there we wrote a couple of papers and guidance notes for sort of the Institute of Civil Engineers, and it's called the Client's Guide to Monitoring. What it generally does, and you can find this online if you look up the exact document title. What it does is it says to people, if you use this, then you can measure that.
Okay.
Yeah. But it flips it round as well. You probably need this sort of grade of equipment to measure these kind of things. So we wrote this document. It's available online. It doesn't matter if it's written in the UK. It's applied for the methodology worldwide.
Awesome.
It'd be in centimeters, though, buddy. Just
we'd have to do some converting there, right? The application, the theory is still the same.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So what about this conference, this event?
What are you excited about?
Yeah.
Besides your presentation, of course.
Well, I mean, it's going to be the best one of the week. We all know it.
Clearly, yeah. I've heard everybody talk about it already.
Can you point them my way? So the things for me here, I mean, this isn't, what's the phrase? It isn't my first rodeo, Hexagon Live.
Yeah.
What really gets me the most is everyone's different and everyone has a different perspective on what they want to see and do. And you can have the same box in front of you and talk to 3 different, 4 different, 5 different people about using it in a different way.
Yep.
I mean, I've got toys over there on the stand where I am. And the things that excite me are the conversations that people have, not the technology that's come out of the factory. Yeah. I've seen that. I'm excited to see how people use it. And we're sitting and I can see just across the room, there's one of the HP site prints.
Yeah.
That's an amazing idea to just print the construction detail on the floor.
Yeah.
Who came up with that?
Yeah.
Who came up with the idea of, oh, we don't need to have someone who holds the detail pole straight when you do a survey. We can have this thing that corrects the tilt.
Yeah.
All these little bits, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Are they making us stupid? Are they making us lazy? Or are they releasing us to do smarter work? I always think the latter.
I like that.
And that's the conversation I like to have with people.
Yeah.
What can we do to make your day smarter?
Yeah.
Not easier, smarter.
Yes. I love that. I love that. I have to cut this short because I have to hop on a work call. So my apologies, because we could talk another hour about this stuff.
Oh, we can circle back with Steve.
We'll do
I
that.
think he'll be around.
We'll get him on for a full show, actually. Yeah, how about that? How about that? Well, Steve, we really appreciate your time.
Great,
And it's been
thanks for
great
stopping
meeting
by.
you, great
Yeah.
getting to know you more. And just thanks for stopping by and chatting with us.
Gents, enjoy the rest of the event. Thank you very much for having me to chat with you. An absolute pleasure.
Appreciate that. And it is our first rodeo, actually.
It is our first rodeo.
We're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Cheers, Jen.
We're back.
Really looking forward to this conversation. Familiar face. I met this gentleman at ASPRS briefly here a couple months ago. But we didn't have a conversation then, but we're going to have one now. So if you would real quick, Robert, if you would just give us your name, who you're with, and what you do.
My name is Robert Young. I'm a land surveyor in Texas, and my company is Trans Texas Surveying and Mapping.
Okay.
Cleveland, Texas.
Okay. And what, like your survey company, do you guys specialize in any one thing, or you just kind of do a little bit of everything?
We specialize in LiDAR,
Okay.
terrestrial and airborne. However, we do everything because we're a very small company.
Mm.
We have all the latest and greatest tools, but we don't compete for the big government contracts because of the structure of the way it's all set up. But we provide these services, and that's the reason I'm out here at this conference, is because mapping is what my passion is. Mapping. Boundary surveying began in 1977. That's going to be my talk. It's my journey from analog, everything.
Nice.
The only battery was the one in the International Harvester that carried us around. But anyway, it's now everything's different.
Yeah. So yeah. So what do you think about the modern day surveyor?
Well, it's an interesting mix. If we were really good at not just doing the measuring and the analysis, but if we were good at being a magnet, we would probably not have so many problems finding new people to come in. But most people don't know a surveyor because most of us are introverted. I'm kind of not. I'm a statistical outlier in many senses, but because we don't tell people what we do, and because we go off in the woods and do it alone, there's many small survey companies, and I respect these guys. They're one-man companies. They can do everything themselves, QAQC. They don't have to deal with employees. They don't have to deal with anybody but themselves and the clients.
Yeah.
However, these things, I think, are impacting the professional surveyor. Then there's people that are embracing technology. I always have, and I always will, because I'm always looking for what's next.
Yep.
And back in the 80s, whenever I went to work for Wild Field, I had Texas and Oklahoma. My job was to sell and train surveyors and engineers on electronic data collection. So all of a sudden, the chain and transit, the stuff that I said, I don't want to be this. And I quit and went into corporate America for 8 years. When I came out, then I went right into selling for Wild, and I learned. I got to meet all these different companies all over Texas and Oklahoma. I was one factory rep. Now there's companies, and that's great. But technology's changed. But I learned not just about the technology, but about surveyors. And the thing about the current one that I'm getting to is the fact that the best surveyors we have, regardless of the technology, have fundamental basic procedures like redundancy. They don't just single shot.
Yep.
Because when radial size shots were invented or whatever with the
remember those
before the robot, all of a sudden we went from just a few points a day to a traverse and hundreds of data points on topos, and all of a sudden that revolutionized. And of course, now with point clouds, it's
Sure.
millions and millions.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's very, very intriguing to me.
Yeah.
And I think that sticking with the things that got us here,
Yep.
the fact that we're experts at measuring, not just analyzing the boundary, but we must, if we don't check ourselves, I don't think there's enough publications. ASPRS does a great job of publishing the standards.
Mhm.
That's why I went to the conference, because I'm realizing, hey, this is dangerous if we don't, a lot of people don't know the difference between a control point and a checkpoint.
Yep.
It's just, it's out there for us, but we have to, we can't just check off, hey, I got my license and I'm through learning.
Yep.
I think that continuing ed sometimes, in many cases, just addresses the same things, boundary analysis, which is great, but communication, self-education, leadership skills, those are things I think we need to do through our state societies and other professions.
Sure.
Because professionalism is what we have it in our name in Texas Registered Professional Land Surveyor, RPLS. Yet, just because we name something doesn't mean that, we just need to inspire people. That's what I'm going back to.
Yeah. Well, actually be a professional, right?
Well, yeah. And I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying,
I get it.
If we were better at it, there's, success leaves clues, and so does short successes, being short of. So if we're not in growing numbers and we don't have people wanting to get in, I think that we need to look in the mirror at each of us individually and figure out what can we do to inspire people to come in.
Yeah.
Do you think the numbers of people getting into this profession are lower now compared to 30 years ago? Or do you think it's just been a steady?
I think in our state, there's been a lot of metrics done by one of the professors who's a surveyor at Dallas College, Sam Shoemaker. A lot of metrology of, measuring all this stuff. And it appears, from what I recollect, I don't have the data in front of me, but it's about the same.
Yeah.
So interesting, right?
Yeah. So anyway, and after the opening talk this morning about our big issue of having people, I don't know if you were there, but golly, that was very, very enlightening. Then we need to train the ones that we have, the opportunities that we have, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's where, mentoring comes in.
Big
right?
time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's what it's all about, especially at my age, at 70 years old. And what I find is giving knowledge, time, energy.
Yeah.
Is the biblical sayings, you reap what you sow, but in my life, I think you reap 1,000 times what you sow, be it good or be it bad.
True. Yeah.
But it's just so energetic to be around people where I can share my successes and my failures. Man, I've had many failures and I'm public about them.
Yeah.
But failures in the eyes of what? Failures are just stepping stones.
Yep.
Because
learning opportunities.
The best thing I'm at is starting over. And I say that being resiliency. Look at what define resiliency.
Yeah.
Because being the first with technology isn't always fun or lucrative.
Yep. Exactly.
I love that. Like you're the best at starting over. Like, not a lot of people see it that way.
Hey, there's one sport that I'm pretty good at too. And that's skating on thin ice.
Love it.
Little humor doesn't hurt.
That's awesome.
Look back. You said something earlier that you're a small firm, but you have the latest and greatest. How do you work out having the fanciest tools when you're a small company like that?
Well, right now there's just 7 people and myself. However, I've owned companies where there was over 80 employees. The one I owned right before it imploded because I got embezzled, and it was I wasn't minding my own business. I was at FIG speaking about GIS. I was doing all these things that were not helping me focus on my mission.
Sure.
So all I'm telling you is, in the past, I've always, from the days of Wild with the TC1000 and the TC1600 and the onboard data collection and WildSoft and contour interpolation program, Tim Kerr, John Stenmark, Gary Affolter, Jim Reed, Chuck Lee, all these guys that were surveyors that worked for Wild, which became Leica, which is now Hexagon. Those guys taught me 3D mapping and computers.
Yep.
Because if I was going to sell equipment to somebody, then I would sit with them until they were proficient, or I would be supporting them 24 hours a day. So you might as well just do there. And you learned about their business. You learned about the people.
Yep.
It was a great learning experience.
Yeah. Well, you were very fortunate to have had that experience. You know, I mean, not everybody.
I know.
is
That's
able
why
to be
I'm
exposed
so
to that.
grateful to tell. That's why I wanted to go share this story. I don't need fame. I don't need glory. I don't need anything, but I have a unique position in actually pulling chains and doing 50-foot grids by double chaining and then shooting stadia or a level rod.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't ever we didn't even radially tie the hubs because we had baseline. We knew where the hubs were, station and offset, 50, 50, 50. You know, it was simple other than rubber bands to draw contour lines. It was like, but that was the best. That was the most efficient. And then the HP 65 came out in 1974, which was, I didn't start till 77, but my boss got one in like 76.
Sure.
And that revolutionized their company.
My gosh.
Just having a handheld calculator. I'm just telling you that I'm lucky that I'm still alive and thriving because, you know, I don't want to just survive. That's why I get up every day and do my best to be the best me I can be. Surveyor, person,
human being.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you have a responsibility then to mentor more and to carry something on to another?
Always. Like back when I had another big company. I've owned 6 survey companies since 1992 when I started. 4 of them I owned before I had a license.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just tell you, when you know what you want to do, when you're focused.
Yeah.
I'm 3D mapping, but you know, I had to pay for it through doing a lot of oil and gas and boundary. But now, I mean, I saw the first LiDAR scan, I think it was 1999 or 2000 of the Corpus Christi Bay Bridge. Tim Kerr, I think, came down with a Leica big heavy scanner and scanned it. And it took like 3 days to get the answer, but it was mind blowing. But it was like the investment of about $1 million. I'm like, well, no, you know, and then now we can get this. The reason I bought the equipment was because I always have. I was one of the first to own 4000s RTK in the 90s, the Sunnyvale Trimble RTK clinic, 2 weeks. But all I'm telling is I'm a seeker, but I'm also a finder. You know, there's a lot of seekers out there and a lot of people that just exist, but I'm a very motivated, passionate individual, and I happen to be a land surveyor, and I love what I do.
Yeah, the passion's amazing. So is there anything that you can think of right now, technology driven, that could or is revolutionizing land surveying? Like you mentioned, you know, the HP calculator was revolutionary.
In my lab, that, and then the show and stat.
Yep.
And then the HP 3800. The big orange one that we dial in the distance when we got it distant.
That was like a EDM type thing, right?
The first distance meter. The first one I saw.
Yeah.
And then the data collection with a total station, and the RTK, static GPS. Static GPS came out. You know, Magnavox and Wild invented the WM101 for civilian access of the satellite signal. And it took hours to do it, but that was revolutionary. Now, these days, improvements with oblique photogrammetry or point clouds. LiDAR aerial is great for elevation, but picking up features isn't all that great. However, you can combine it with terrestrial scanning or SLAM scanner, handheld. And then photogrammetry. Photogrammetry has gotten it was such a big deal. I had customers that would buy the WildSoft contour interpolation program. Aerial Data Services, Cliff Medford in Oklahoma, bought that software to take their they had aeroplanes and, you know, big cameras, but they would take their photogrammetry in it and use it to interpolate contours as opposed to following the fiducial point on a stereo plotter. So, I mean, I'm so blessed to have seen all these.
Oh, yeah, right.
And the people that I've met, it's incredible. Not just the people at Wild, but all the surveyors that have mentored me because I'm working all over the state.
Yeah.
It's a very diverse, large geography with many different climates.
Yeah. So all this new technology, do you think it's like making the surveyor dumber in some ways?
No,
or do you think it's making more tech savvy? Like what?
Neither. I mean, I don't think it's dumber. I don't think you get dumber, but I think that people decide that they're going to buy some technology.
Yeah.
Because they need it. They want to get this contract or whatever. But the issue these days, it isn't just the technology. It's the human component to make the technology useful, efficient, and effective.
Yeah.
And that's where we miss out. The other thing is we become complacent.
Yeah.
We become complacent with pushing a button, and we just train people to push. It's like the thing.
I think that's what I'm saying is like that's kind of dumbing it down a little bit.
Well,
but you also have to know the limitations of each of these pieces of technology.
And where do people get that knowledge? That's what I was back at earlier. ASTRS has these great standards, and then in our state society that I'm in, we can't really talk about brands, and we rely on people that sell the equipment, which is that's cool. But I test. I've got published a little article about comparing the DJI L2 with the Regal Mini 3 LiDAR system.
Yeah.
I don't tell people what to buy. Just here's the data. Here's what we found. This looks like this. This looks like this. But we don't have enough of that. We have competitors of equipment slamming each other, but we don't really have the shootouts like we used to have back in the 80s. Yeah. We had EDMs and there were other brands other than Wild, at least one brand. And the yellow brand, and we set them up, and I'd take a gallon of water and I would pour it on top of my total station. I'd say, okay, here's you a gallon. They go, we can't do that. And the people would say, well, I want that one because we work in the rain. I'm just, the little things like that was competition. Mm-hmm. But now it's more like everything's proprietary. And that's the issue with personnel. A lot of the companies that have expertise in remote sensing and LiDAR, there's only a small group of people that really understand. You have to reach out. If you want to learn about this, that's a big issue is people want the quick fix. They want to spend the money and get the tough and get the math.
Yeah.
But if you don't, that's the whole purpose of the talk. The thing about redundancy and checks and QA, QC and making sure that you add value, that you're turning out a product that has, in the words of my late father, he'd say, he'd see something he didn't think too much of. He'd say, son, that has no medicinal value. And I'm like, okay, cool. I remember that. I remember several things.
Yeah.
So awesome. It's just, I think that it's like everything else, guys. Leadership, whoever's in charge, whatever their focus on, whatever their purpose is, that's going to dictate what happens. And so whether it's a little company or a Sunday school class or a soccer team or whatever, or a survey company, I think that leadership is so important that we worry a lot about measuring and math, and that's all very important. But that's the difference between a surveyor and an engineer. There's many differences, but it's not just the math and the formulas. It's the analysis and the interpretation of law and so many things.
All the wisdom.
Yeah. And that comes from interacting with old surveyors. So to help back to the mentoring, it's all about interacting with other humans and doing our best to set high standards for ourselves. It's easy to judge other people, but the only person we have any control over is ourselves. So if we set standards and judge ourselves and not the other people, it's a lot better off. I don't know that.
So good.
Yeah. No, I'm just telling you that.
No, it's good.
That's what I think is.
I agree with you completely.
I'm not. Yeah.
Well, we just got a life lesson for the day, if nothing else. That was awesome.
I consider me learned.
Consider you learned. Yes. It's awesome. What's like? I mean, I think you've kind of said it in a bunch of different ways, but what's like the legacy you want to leave?
Well, the legacy I want to leave is mainly that persistence pays off. You never give up. And that if you're not passionate about what you do, then find something that you are passionate about and go do it. Because so many people just accept mediocre. Jim Collins wrote a book back in the 70s, From Good to Great.
Yeah.
And, we say, well, good enough. Well, it's the standard. Go back the standards that we said. If you strive for excellence, because perfection is a myth.
Yeah.
But if you strive for progress every day, just progress,
Yeah.
just a little bit of progress in the quality of the maps you put out. I mean, we take great care in adding value. I wish I could show you a map. I will when we get up there. Just a recent boundary survey that I put myself in the landowner. This 560 acre tract, and he's got so many corners. You know, all the corners are referenced with the point number and the photo number. And then there's a table of all the corners, not looking down in the hole, but looking off from your fence corner. These guys aren't going to get out of their truck, but they'll go, yeah, that's my corner over there.
Yeah.
There's things that we can do that add value, but a lot of people argue, well, that adds liability. Welcome to the new world. You get up every day, you walk across the street, you know, we're liable for everything, but it's all about, my focus is on how do I add value? My legacy is that I leave behind my company. Presently, my employees get my company, okay, because I have no children, but I have nephews and nieces, and I have a lovely wife, but they don't need the company.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The company, I hope, is going to go on.
Sure.
Every job we do, we geo-reference. So we have,
It's awesome.
we have Google Earth files.
Yep.
Because there's records that are going to be on for a long time.
Preserved. Yeah, that's good. Well, sir, I can't tell you how much I enjoyed this conversation.
When's your
I'm so
talk?
glad.
When's your speech?
It's Thursday morning at 11 o'clock.
Oh,
Okay.
nice. All right.
Capri.
I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Hey, it's going to be fun.
I love it.
I'm going to have a
we're
lot
all
of
for
fun.
Yeah, we are all for
And
that.
Hopefully I'll share some information and help people realize that we're the wizards of our own life. It's like the Wizard of Oz was also we need to be our own wizards, and we need to raise high standards for our standards we have as a company, and we have for the quality of work.
Yeah.
I think that'll help us a lot. And how do we improve relations with other people so we can get them attracted to our profession?
Yeah.
Love it.
Peace.
Well said.
Thank you for that. Thank you for all of that. And thank you for everything you're doing for the profession. And hope you have a great rest of the show.
Yeah. Thanks,
You
Robert.
guys,
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Robert.
thank you.
Okie doke. Here we go.
We are back.
Very excited to have this conversation. I know I'm going to learn something new.
I am planning on learning something new.
Yes, I think you brought these guys to the table, right? That's right.
Well, and by that as in Tom walked up.
Oh, there you go.
Can I jump in? And I said, sure. Guilty.
Fair enough. All right. So real quick, if you guys would, Tom, I'll let you go first. Just name who you're with and what you do.
So my name is Tom Givon. I'm the VP of Marketing and Solutions in Give Solutions. Give Group is a global company.
Okay.
Our headquarters are in Israel. We have established a company here in the US and in the EU, in the European Union.
Okay.
We basically we specialize in management solutions. We like to say that we provide a digital brain to an asset-intensive organizations.
Okay. Sounds like artificial intelligence to me.
Yes.
How about you, my friend? Give us your name.
So,
A little bit closer.
Mayor Givon, I'm the founder of the company, started with 10 fingers. Now we, if I quote Hexagon, we are one of the largest partners, a premier partner awarded for many years by Hexagon. We started to cooperate with them in 2008, actually chose for our customers which platform we will use, and they chose Hexagon AM. It was then Info AM. And since then, we are growing exponentially and with a lot of success stories. As Tom said, what we do is we consider it like the digital brain, the software that runs intensive infrastructure organizations that focus on services or utilities. And then we find out that they don't have a proper solution to run themselves in the best way, efficient way, evolving way. And the solutions that we have developed, provided as best practices for industry-specific customers are a winner.
Yeah, for sure. Well, first of all, the name of the company is Give, G-I-V, correct?
Correct.
What does that stand for something?
3 reasons. Initials of family.
Okay.
give solutions without the E, and what is like the start of Givon, but mainly I'm joking and saying that the world has proved that 3 letters are enough for greatness, like IBM, SAP.
Right.
So GIV, guys, you should know GIV now because
Yep.
we are the future.
Yep. Well, we do, and our listeners will as well. This is pretty exciting. I need some more context. Like you mentioned that you have some good examples of this and how it's benefiting people. So
Yes.
I think if you can provide a couple of those, it'll clear the picture up a little bit.
I'll try to put the motto in 60 seconds, and I let Tom, that personally managed several of the wonderful projects with hands-on, to talk about his personal experience.
Sure.
We found out that customers that are intensive infrastructure organizations that provide services have a lot in common, of course. They all, even though there are different sectors, like rails, metro, transportation, smart hospitals, smart cities, there is the mutual, which is the infrastructure, and this is a core business of the organization, the core headache. But then he provides the services, so he needs to manage the services. You cannot be an excellent organization, smart organization, without having a smart digital platform now that is like a digital brain. It's not enough to have the wonderful, the best managers. You have to have the platform to let data work for you, to sense, to integrate, and to make decisions, and to learn and adopt all the time. So Tom can give some examples of such projects.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Let's start with cities because I think that's the one thing most people will relate to. We hear the phrase, the buzzword smart city a lot.
Yeah.
And when you dive a bit deeper into that, if you, let's say, talk to any municipality and they tell you that their city is smart and you ask why, and they say, because we have implemented CCTV cameras, or we implemented smart junction,
like streetlights?
systems, things of that nature. And my question to them, my follow-up question is always the same. Is okay, so you have smart cameras. Let's say your smart cameras now saw that there was an accident at junction X.
Yeah.
Then 3 people saw it and they called the control center of the municipality and each reported that there was an accident. Do you know it's the same accident, or are you sending 5 different incidents to 5 different contractors to go? And that is one of the things that we can do. We can make the organization's life simpler.
Yeah.
First of all, we can identify that this is all the same. Secondly, we make everything work in harmony. So from different departments of the organization, of the municipality, let's say the municipality has a department or a sub department that is responsible for events like holidays, like maybe parades, whatever. And they have the maintenance department and they have the guys in charge of the roads. All of them need to be in line together. Because once, let's say, there is work being done on the pipes at a certain street, that is exactly when you want everyone aligned and do all the work that you already need to do because the street is already under construction. Don't close the street 4 times. Just do everything once. Control the budget. Make sure everything is optimized in that sense. So that is one example. In Tel Aviv, we have the Tel Aviv Sewage and Water Company completely operating on our solution. They won an award last night for best in maintenance here in Hexagon Live, which was a great honor.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
And they are one example of an organization that is completely aligned because they're working on one platform from end to end. Another example from the metro world, for example, our system manages the Red Line in Tel Aviv. It's the new metro in the Tel Aviv municipality. Connects 6 different cities, 34 stations in total. And it's a big, complicated project. Everything was built just very recently from the ground up. So everything is smart. Everything is monitored. Everything has sensors. Our system acts as the main system. Everything integrates to it. Over 17 different sensoring and control systems are integrated to our system. We manage the entire processes from maintenance, operations, logistics, purchasing, from end to end.
With 170 KPIs of RAMs, reliability, availability, maintainability, and safety, that is derived like the digital brain that collects from all the other systems from many, many vendors.
Yeah.
So do you set this up
Yeah.
unique to each,
Like it's custom,
for each client? So, and basically build it however they want to look like it?
We created GivRail, which is a best practice a vertical industry solution, and it is deployed also in Jerusalem Metro. Okay, so we hold actually the 100% of the operating lines in Israel today.
Okay.
With the same solution. But yes, it is. There is the platform of Hexagon EAM. There is the industry solution of Give, and there are adoptions and integrations that are specific because different systems are chosen. Different suppliers and contractors provide in each project other systems to integrate to. Okay.
So to your question, it's like basically we provide an 85-90% ready to go solution.
Okay.
And we adopt the rest.
Okay. Gotcha. So who are your typical clients or customers?
Municipalities?
You have it in front of you.
Yeah,
Let's talk about municipalities.
Yeah.
Municipal services, campuses for education services.
Okay.
Universities, colleges, and training compounds, hospitals for smart hospitals, real estate owners for real estate for rental, or elderly supported living solutions. Roads and highways and bridges, and let's talk about it a little. Because let me give you an example. We have first in the world we have developed integration between drones for inspection that can work in touch in order to be close and identify 0.1 millimeter of crack that is required by the regulations. And it took this and integrated it to Hexagon EAM. We got awarded on that by Hexagon. Hexagon created a video on that. But what are the results? Today, if you want to inspect a bridge or a tunnel, you have to close it. We showed that we can do it in parallel to traffic. We succeeded to do it parallel in traffic with no risk to human lives. First of all, the inspector is not there because until now he had to climb on cherry pick or on a ramp and bring it with a truck, etc. You don't deploy anything. You send a drone, which is 200.5 kilograms of let's say composed material. So even if it gets crazy, but it's not. It's very stable. And this is what it was showed, and because of that, approved by the police and authorities to be used in parallel to traffic. It reduced 75% of the closure of roads. So denial of service reduced by 75%.
Wow.
The total time because it starts digital from the field to the process, to the expert system of processing and scoring the condition of the asset, it reduced 80 to 90% of the time of processing. Okay? With a much higher resolution, much higher accuracy, full traceability, so you know exactly where a photo was taken, because traditionally a person or an engineer was going, inputting, and then making hundreds of photos. Where is this photo from? I'm confused. I don't remember. And now let's say you are an engineer. You are coming back with your report. how can you prove me that you covered everything, that you didn't neglect some parts?
Good point.
So the drone lives like a trail. It is digitized.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see the full coverage, like someone is painting.
Yeah.
You can see the crossings over and,
awesome.
hey, this is not covered, send it again. So
does that also include like pavement maintenance and the life cycle items, not just bridges, but
yes, the RMS, the road management system, deals with pavement, deals with identification of defects, of cracks, etc., creating of a plan to rehabilitation and optimization, ability to run scenarios and to optimize, and then to activate it to work orders into the EAM. We have several customers that are doing that very successfully.
So it's kind of like a GIS in a way.
No, it is integrated with the GIS. This is
okay.
You know, I have a story for you. It's great for because what you asked now, you're right. It has GIS, but it is one side. It's like the elephant. You know, are you familiar with the elephant is walking in India and 4 blind people are in front. So the driver shouts, "Hey, stupid, go aside! Don't you see there is an elephant?" No, we don't. Sorry, we never met an elephant. Let us touch him to know what it is. One says it's a lotus leaf because the ear. One says it's a wall because of the belly. One says it's a rope because of the tail. And one says it's a column because of the leg. The elephant is moving away and they are still quarreling. It's exactly about asset management and maintenance management. Everyone sees it from his own angle. The financial, it's a cost. Let's reduce the cost as possible. The maintenance manager, it's open work orders. I have to deal with that. The operation manager, come on, it's my headache. It bothers me. I cannot operate the road or the machine or whatever. So everyone sees his own side, but actually, and this is exactly why you need this digital brain of integrating everything in an infrastructure intensive organization, because it's a core business for them and they should have all the aspects, all the people engaged, and this is what we do. All those type of users are working on the same system, not just the maintenance. Okay?
Are you typically bringing it in to a scenario where the city, for example, is already collecting all this data, or do you have to have part of the data collection to make it work right?
Great insight and great question. We have many examples in the world, because smart city was a slogan, the buzzword, and everybody invested. And what they invest in sensors and cameras, in communication and fiber, etc. And you hear all the cities disappointed. Why? They try to be smart without dealing with the brain. Like a baby that is born, first of all, when a baby is born, he's small, but the head is big. And his organ is, let's say, hands and senses are not operational. They're like active, but they are not functioning. What is functioning is the brain. He's learning, he's evolving. And this is exactly the answer to a city that wants to become smart. You start by investing $1 to $3 million. That's it, in this digital brain. And then according to your resources, you add communication, you add sensors, you deploy and roll out according to the food that you can feed your baby. This is the pace that he will grow. But if you don't start with the baby, no matter how much food you push in, it will be stupid baby.
So you guys are the brain. You're the brain.
We bring the software. And the software is in the skull. The software is in a server. The server can be in the cloud. It runs on multi-tenant SaaS of Hexagon. It runs on private clouds. It runs on-prem. And the customer dictates it according to his regulations and restrictions. Okay, and cybersecurity that he holds.
What's the business model? Is it a subscription or is it a one-time purchase? What does that look like?
Both according to exactly the model that they want. Usually there are contracts of turnkey projects, so we take responsibility on full delivery, on time, on budget, on specifications, and reaching the customer satisfaction.
Yeah.
I can tell you that we hold 100% of this success.
Yeah.
Of course, there are customers that say that in some point, they say, okay, I would like to work with you on resources like time and material because we want to evolve things, etc. Usually it's long contracts and we deliver also the support. And I can tell that we have contracts of many, many years ahead because of such projects, because nobody's buying this system for 1 year or 2 years.
Right.
It's for 10 years at least.
It's an investment. Yeah.
What's your biggest challenge right now?
We are going global and we are recruiting and we are looking, of course, for customers and partners. Partners that are in the market, partners that complement us, that are delivering of ICT. We are 75 experts, which is maybe not too large, but only on EAM. And yet we are considered one of the largest in the world, and of course by Hexagon, and of course with best experience and expertise and best practice and methodologies. And the fact that we were 8 times approved by the Innovation Authority of Israel to grants on innovation, and they are very severe, very strict. They check that the innovation is innovative, that there is the market and business case, and there is the ability to execute. And only when you are qualified on that, you are granted. And we succeeded 8 times. Most of the things were around Hexagon EAM platform. And in each of the innovation, it is already operational with satisfied customer, with case studies, and with testimonials. So we invite everyone to meet us and to visit our customers. They are willing, they are open, they became friends, and they are reoccurring, right? Returning customers.
So you say you're going global, we're everywhere? I know you said you had an office out here in the States.
We opened and we'll start on the East Coast.
Okay.
But definitely where the customers are, we will be there. Same in European Union. We established a company, and Hexagon is really taking us global. And I think the best recognition is the award that we got from them yesterday on the global growth in assets in the EAM award. Okay,
that's amazing.
Congratulations, guys! I mean, this is amazing stuff what you guys are doing. And the website is giv-solutions.com.
Pretty cool stuff.
Awesome. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to get out there? Is there like so much, I'm sure, in this room that you guys are just so jazzed up about?
Yeah. I want to take the opportunity to thank Hexagon, first of all, for this conference and the ability to meet a lot of interesting people. I thought I was fairly intelligent until I
Tom, I tell you, every time we come to these things, I realize how not smart I am getting around all this stuff.
Yeah, and thank you guys as well.
Yeah, appreciate it,
guys. Thank you. Yeah.
So I just wrap up from my point of view. Hexagon is a wonderful company, an engineering, a leader, a visionary, and the way that they perform. There are many that are as visions, and it remains as visions. The way that they are doing the engineering and what we see is amazing, and I very much correlate with that and identify with that. And the event is amazing. They have wonderful marketing team.
Yeah, definitely.
And again, thank you for recognition that we got by Hexagon. The recognition that our customer, Mea Vivim, the water company of Tel Aviv, got from them really excites us. And thank you for this interview.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. It's been a treat for sure.
Enjoy the rest of the week.
Yep. Hitting our stride here, buddy.
We are hitting our stride. If this was a marathon, we're like in mile like 18 where.
So you're saying we have like runners high, podcasters high.
We have
maybe.
podcasters high.
Fair
right
enough.
now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we're not at the home stretch yet. Now we're just enjoying the scenery.
There you go. And there's plenty to see. That's
There
for
is.
sure.
There
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I just saw the NASCAR simulator. I got to do that at some point.
Yeah. You can do it. You can drive it.
Yeah, like sit in the car.
Yeah.
It's freaking amazing. So much cool stuff here. All right, we got Hans with us. Hans, real quick, if you would just give us your name, who you're with, and what you do.
Yes, hello. My name is Hans-Martin Zogg. I'm the business director for total stations at Hexagon Geosystems. So I'm based in Switzerland. Herr Bruck.
Do they make the best total stations in Switzerland?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, clear, yes.
That was a softball. Way to start. It was nice. Good icebreaker. So what's going on with total stations these days? And
Actually, you're very surprised, but you find total stations everywhere. Actually, every construction site needs a total station. There's nothing built without a total station. And this since many, many years. And even today, I mean, you use total stations. They get automated. They support you in your work to not make any errors. And that the things get built at the right place.
Yeah. And I have always thought that Leica has the best optics on the planet. So they make really good total stations.
Absolutely. I mean, that's where we are from. I mean, since we built total stations, theodolites, it started with theodolites 100 years ago, and now it's total stations. It's today it's optics, but it's also a lot of electronics. It's a lot of software, which comes into a total station.
Yeah. So you're saying that we're always going to need total stations?
Absolutely. I'm fully convinced. I mean,
they're not going away.
Always, forever.
Forever. Yes. I mean, a total station works also everywhere. It works indoor. You can use it in here. You can use it outdoor.
True.
It works when it rains, when it's sunny. It delivers precise position.
Yeah.
Actually, that's crucial. And with a total station, you can actually fulfill two major tasks as a surveyor. Is measuring. It's obvious. And the second one is layout. So somehow you need to bring the design into the field. And this you do with a total station.
Yeah. Have you figured out a way to get the robot to run a total station?
Yeah, I saw this this morning.
That would be pretty cool.
The robot carry around the pole. I think that's probably the future. Absolutely. I saw that.
Yeah. You said that we will always need total stations. You didn't say that we'll always need a person to operate the total station.
Really?
Absolutely. This we see. I mean, even today, in certain regions, certain markets, you have manual total stations. So there are at least two persons. One is behind the instrument, the other one behind the pole. And we've also automated robotic total stations, more in mature markets where labor costs are high. You don't want to spend too many people out there. So you have one person operating a total station. And maybe in future, it's then the robot doing the layout by himself or herself.
I don't doubt it for a minute. Don't doubt it. So what, tell us what else you're excited about. This is an amazing show. Our first time here, and we've loved every second of it so far. So much to see and do. What gets your blood pumping?
For me, it's always absolutely great to see what Hexagon does. I mean, I work at Hexagon Geosystems. I'm very familiar what we do, but this show here shows also what all the others division do in Hexagon. And really, it inspires me and hopefully as well our customers. They get inspired by all these different technologies, solutions, which they make their life easier and bring value to them.
Yeah. So what's the differentiator? What makes your total stations better than the others?
It's
where to start.
It's difficult. It's clear. I mean, for sure, we are famous for our quality and reliability. I mean, this is crucial.
Yep.
You want to sleep well. When you have a task in the other morning, you want to sleep well and you want to be sure, yes, I go out, my total station works. And this we are famous for a total station of highest quality, reliability, and actually highest grade of automation as well, depending on the type of total station. It's a various portfolio, but this is where, we are famous for. And important as well. I mean, yes, it is a total station. It is the hardware, but together with our field software, like a Captivate running on the total station, on the tablet, that makes a solution, really very much productive for our customers.
Yeah.
Is the total station the oldest piece of technology in this room?
No.
That's a good
I
question.
wouldn't call the oldest piece of technology. Actually, it probably has the longest history. Yes.
Okay.
But the technology is brand new, and it's getting more and more technology in it. For instance, we just launched 2 years ago a tilt pole.
Okay.
So this is absolutely unique.
Got the compensator in it, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. A unique innovation in the field of total station. It's known from GNSS, where you have this tilt pole. But for total stations, we are the only manufacturer who has a tilt pole for total station. And that's actually really revolutionizes kind of how you measure with total station. So no need anymore to fiddle around with leveling the pole. You just
but that was the poor guy's one job. That was his only function was to hold that thing straight.
Yeah, that's one thing. But the other thing is also, often it also helps you to access points which you simply cannot access. For instance, you can measure these points, or underneath a table, you can hold the pole and measure. And that's really it's the next step in terms of bringing additional innovation into total stations.
Yeah.
And can any tilt, like 89 degrees?
Any tilt. You can even measure upside down, hold the whole thing, the roof. Measure
crazy.
Yeah. So if you
think about
hit
that,
the spot, you could just, as long as the end touches it.
Exactly. And as long as the total station sees your prism, but really it widens up your measurement view or field of view where you can do the measurements. It's not just flat the ground. It's really all over the place, 360.
So interesting.
So within the lab, what are you cooking up in the lab next?
Yeah, that's a good question. This for sure we are cooking, not just hot water, but also a lot of new technologies. And I mean, this is clear. As soon as something is out, we are working on something new. And let's stay tuned. What's coming next?
But it's like, I mean, think about, like, how much better can you make it? You know?
There's always thing you can always be better.
Always be better. Smaller or cheaper, or never cheaper, but
I think the crucial part of robotic total station is also the automation. You know, how to search a prism, lock a prism, follow a prism. And this area for sure we can do even better. Then I guess I see connectivity so that you work in teams, you call it more collaborative together, and all this connectivity part.
Yeah,
I think that's for me where the future.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
Well, like is there ever going to be a place where I don't have to put a GPS and a total station in with a survey crew? What if that is? Can you just stick it in there somehow? I don't know.
I'm sure a total station will always be used.
Right. So do you guys have a version that has a scanner built into it?
Yes. That's our multi-station.
Multi-station.
Yeah. Actually, the multi-station combines total station and scanning capabilities. And we launched the world's first multi-station 2013. So 12 years ago.
So
Las Vegas.
Starting to hit its stride then, right?
Yeah, but since then, a lot of improvements happened as well. Additional innovation came into the multi-station. And today we have the multi-station called MS60. You can visit it on our booth. We present it together with the AP20, a super performant measurement tool for our surveyors.
So who's best suited to buy a multi-station? You know, because like sometimes just get a scanner, don't get the multi-station. You know, if you're going to do this, get the multi-station. Like, what are some good scenarios for that?
There's several ones. I think one for sure is, let's say, it's a smaller surveying company who wants to get into scanning, but let's say is not sure if he gets project or not. If you have a multi-station, I mean, you're sure you have a super total station, but then once a while you can get into scanning step by step. So I see this as a chance to get into the reality capture world.
Gotcha.
That's the one part. The other part is for sure a big engineering company, any kind of companies who wants to have a super total station and has the one or the other job where he needs to do scanning.
Yep.
Or using scanning for monitoring applications. This we see also more and more, setting up the total station, the multi-station somewhere remote, and it scans road surface, facades, any object which might move.
Yeah.
So you can also really put the multi-station into autonomous monitoring solutions. So everyone actually, is
Everyone
can buy a multi-station.
And you can connect to it from your office.
Yes. You can connect. We have a so-called ComBox communication box device.
Okay.
You connect to the total station, multi-station, and from there it goes into the cloud. And you can interact. You can steer the total station. You can actually program it if you want. You can say, okay, measure these areas, scan that area, program it, and then it runs for itself. That's
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Again, why do you even need to exist?
I have no idea, man. I'm questioning my existence. What about like on the data collector side? Do you work with the data collectors as well? Or is that a different division?
No, I don't know. No, it comes as well from our division. It's geomatics division. We provide a solution. Yes, it's a multi-station, a total station, the field software, Captivate, but as well field controller. Actually, this is super important because if you work one person setup, total station sits there, and then you connect with your tablet, with your controller to the total station, and you operate the total station from this field controller. Actually, this field control is also, it connects as well. You can also have a GS antenna on your pole. So then you can, when you're outdoor, you can use GNSS or you are connected with total station.
Yeah. You can be doing both at once.
Exactly. The master is your tablet. The master is your tablet, and you control it from the pole.
So has everything gone to tablets now? There's not like a handheld field controller very much anymore.
No, I would say there's still a big portion uses this field controllers. I mean, they are ruggedized. They have buttons. They
like military grade.
Exactly. It's simple to use. But we see as well, let's say for the tablets, especially when it comes to big data, respectively, if you have IFC models of your buildings, and these are huge data, and needs a lot of processor power as well to display them, and so then tablets with more processor power are used. That's a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't say the trend, but we see customers are moving towards tablet, but still the big majority are ruggedized.
Gotta have buttons.
They need buttons. But we have also a solution, actually. We have a kind of a keyboard which you can attach to your tablet.
Nice.
And then you have all the buttons back, which you would miss
from
a controller. So you then have best of both worlds, high power tablets as well as the buttons from the field controller.
I always thought, and maybe it's out there now, like a voice command would be good for the field controller.
Yeah, that's actually a good one. We got that quite often already. We did actually some research and also some tests at the factory to control it via voice. But actually, we realized it can be very difficult, especially on a very loud construction site.
That's true.
Or along a highway. So we came a little bit away from that.
I mean, my question is, are you actually saving any time?
Well, I guess I'm thinking like if you're doing a topo conventionally and you take a shot and you just say flow line versus having to, again, you type it in, just say flow line. That would save some time.
I can see that.
A little bit anyways.
But here's the question. So your TV remote now, most of them all have you can talk into it. Are you a talk to searcher guy or do you still hit the buttons? Me too. I know. I can't switch over.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it also misunderstands you.
Yeah, exactly.
Store and you may measure over
there. As soon as they get it wrong, I could have been done by now. I know that if I hit the buttons, I'm going to search exactly what I want.
Yeah.
Or then other people can just like mess with you on the site. And then when you don't realize, you'll get a conversation from somebody else. Well, it's flow line, go grab me that axe or something,
Oh my gosh. So what else are you excited about? Like when you're walking around the show and seeing all this cool stuff?
Actually, I'm excited as well about the people.
Oh yeah, people are great, right?
People attending the show are really eager as well to learn, to see what's new. And that's I like that very much. Connecting. Actually, I see also these shows about that, connecting with people, learn from people, and they learn from us. So that's one big portion of that show for me as well. Yeah. And then I get exciting about the speeches, the keynotes. Was really good, inspiring, motivating. It's a lot, and actually we just started. So we have 2 other days in front of us. So that I'm sure we will see a lot of new things, exciting things.
Yeah, really exciting things for sure. Got anything else, Sean?
No, it's been fun.
Yeah, really fun conversation. Appreciate your time, Hans.
Yeah, sure.
Anything else you want to?
Thanks
Anything else you want to get out there before we let you go?
What is your highlight of the show so far?
Highlight of the show so far. Oh gosh, I mean, just like when we walked around here for the first time, and just the reach of Hexagon and what Hexagon is involved with is really blown my mind. This is the first time we've been to Hexagon Live, so very, very impressed with everything. Very impressed with everybody we've met from Hexagon.
Oh, super nice.
It's just been a great experience, and like you said, it's only day one.
Have you been to our booth? You need to see the multi-station over
yes, we will be there for sure. For sure.
Good.
All right. Thanks,
Sounds
Hans.
good.
Appreciate your time.
Have a good week.
It's getting to be that time, buddy.
It is.
Just, I think we got a couple more in us.
I think we got a couple more.
Yep.
But I think I can smell the beer coming for happy
Smell the
hour.
beer.
I just know it's waiting behind a door
I
somewhere.
thought you were going to say you smell the excitement in the air about this next interview.
Well, we did hang out last night with
A little bit,
with this guy, so
We already know we
excited.
like him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Real quick, if you would just give us your name, who you're with, and what you do.
So my name's John Fraser. I work for Hexagon Geosystems, and I'm based in the UK. My official job title is I'm regional president for UK, Ireland, and Benelux.
Nice. You get to do a lot of traveling.
Yeah, but I got a really small region compared to a lot of regions. UK, Ireland, 1 hour time shift is a killer. Between UK and Europe, it gets me a bit of jet lag. But no, to be honest,
1 hour.
But no, I travel enough. But I've been doing the job since a long time, so it's.
So what do you love about your job?
I guess I've always had a job where I'm doing something different every day, and in a different place every day, different challenges. So for me, I've only ever really worked for one company. So
Nice.
Have you always worked for Hexagon, or were you a byproduct of some acquisition and then another one and then another one?
No. So I joined Leica, not Leica Geosystems, Leica in 1995 when we were one Leica. And then obviously that turned into Leica Geosystems in 1997. And then obviously Hexagon bought us in 2005. So I started July the 5th, 1995 with Leica.
How did you get into this business?
Interesting. It's really interesting because this 30 years for me has come round in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I went home to see my mum and dad recently. And I know when I first wanted to get interested, because I'm from Wales, you may pick it up, you may not. So from Southwest Wales, and they were building when I was about 13, they were building a new dual carriageway close to us, roadway. And my dad took me up there, and that moment I said, I want to be a civil engineer. And at 13, I said, I'm going to be a civil engineer. And then, so I went to university, or I went to college, and then university, got my master's degree in civil engineering. And my fourth year thesis was you had to choose an industrial partner. I chose my industrial partner, this company I've never heard of before called Leica. And then did a thesis on software. And then they offered me a summer job.
Wow.
And that summer job, 30 years later, is still,
there you go.
Yeah, there we are.
There we are. Is that how it happened for you? You're like 12, 13 years old, and you're just like, I want to be a civil engineer?
Actually, I mean, I decided I wanted to be an engineer when I was a teenager.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty young?
Yeah. My uncle was a civil engineer, and I was always like, I want to do what he does.
Has it turned out the way you hoped it would?
Well, other than,
Not to get off track here.
other than knowing you and doing this, everything else is pretty much
Everything else
falling in
great.
line.
Threw you a little curveball there.
So that means you've been coming to this event since they've been having it,
No,
or?
not really. No. So I started technical sport, went through the whole business and, different areas. So I've only really started coming here since 2017 onward. So it's on my fourth or fifth time to Hexagon Live. So.
Okay.
So talk about like the benchmark developments throughout your career. Like this happened and it was a game changer. And then this happened and it was a game changer.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So I joined in technical support. So when you're in technical support, you're doing support on customers who are using equipment that was bought 5-6 years ago. So that was, theodolites, add-on EDMs on top of the theodolite, all that lot.
Yep.
For me, the biggest breakthrough, I was the first person in the UK to fly over to Switzerland in 1996 to pick up the first robotic total station.
No way.
And I had to bring it back, hand carry it into London, demonstrate it to the Met Police in London. And that was the first, like, well, I've only just started selling and I've now got the first ever robotic total station. So that was cool.
Yeah.
And then the next one for me, because I was selling in the late 90s, 97, we came out with the first reflectless total station.
Mm-hmm.
That was a breakthrough for me because that looked, for Leica, that was great because it allowed us to go into construction because of reflectless laser and verification and stuff like that. They're my two biggest breakthroughs, really, robotic and lasers. And then as a sales manager and a country manager and what have you, then laser scanning came in. So, but I never sold laser scanning. I always managed a business that involved laser scanning. So being closer to technology, the biggest change in my life for me as a technical person back then was definitely the lasers coming on the, through the TCR 307 at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think's next without giving too much away? Is there something, another development kind of, or even something you've seen here that is a potential game changer?
I've got a new role, which is looking after our safety portfolio. So we've done an acquisition X-Watch, and I'm quite intrigued on the business model behind that because most of our technology is either improving productivity or it's sustainability with fuel savings like machine control and what have you. We're shifting our narrative around the safety message. And I think that's quite interesting for us to pivot, saying we've got technology, which is, it helps productivity and other things, but it's also a different narrative around safety. So I'm really excited about that.
Yep.
And then obviously, like everyone today, was blown away by the humanoid and stuff like that. What's happened with AI and how AI and software and stuff like that. So I think that for me is the next wave of how are we going to get more out of AI and stuff.
Do you agree with Hans that we will always have total stations?
Absolutely. Because my point of view, at the moment, you can't set out from a laser scanner. 70 to 80% of our business in my region comes from construction-related activities, whether it's building construction or what we call civil infrastructure, horizontal construction. Setting out, you got machine control, but you still need lasers. You still need, total stations to stake out. You still need that engineering surveying. And these big projects, tunneling projects, road, rail projects, they will still need total stations, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What do you think?
Mind you don't call them total stations. You call them something else, don't you?
No, we call them total stations.
I thought
we're robotics.
I thought you called them guns on the end of it.
Well,
we call them guns, because we're from the United States. We're big into guns, so.
There you go. Oh, man. So, like, what keeps you motivated, right? You've been in this for quite some time. Like, what keeps you motivated when you get out of bed in the morning? What are you excited about?
Not sure I get excited every day I get out of bed. I don't think anyone is, but I think from my point of view, working for a company that does so much innovation, that is inspiring. If you're selling the same product or managing a business that sells the same product for 10, 15 years, who's always got something coming, always something to promote, look forward to. But I'm background sales. So for me, people buy from people, managing people, working with people, energized by a good company with good products and people. What I get motivated by is going to see customers and you realize that actually what you're producing and what your service to them is, they actually do some great work and what we do is quite good. When you're a manager in a business, you kind of look at all the negatives of what's happening in your business. You always look at the things that are going wrong or you always have to deal with problems. You never get to deal with all the positive stuff. So actually going to see customers actually reminds you, we're quite good. We're not perfect. No company's perfect, but actually that's what motivated me, seeing customers who are really doing stuff with the stuff that you sold. And that goes back all the way back from when as a salesperson, providing a solution to meet the customer's needs, to solve the problems and challenges they have. And I don't think that ever goes away. You're just solving other problems.
And using different tools to solve them, right?
Exactly. And whether it's management tools or whether it's technology tools.
Yeah. I mean, your guys' equipment is top notch, but when you're teaching young salespeople, like what's the differentiator, would you say, between you and your competition? Besides being a nice guy.
No, I don't. Competition, is it competition or is it an alternative supplier of technology? I think growing a marketplace and giving service and support to your customers, I think is you in your own destiny. And if you do it better than the competition, you get more business. So So I think
It's a good answer. I like that.
for a sales guy, I guess if I look back and say, what advice would I give myself as a sales guy? Is not to be so demoralized by the word no or a lost order. And, if you lose an order, you get so down because you think that's the end of the world for that particular moment in time.
Sure.
But it's making sure the best thing is when you've lost an order and then 3 years later you manage to and you get the next order. Because you've worked hard and developed a relationship, you've built the profile, they want to deal with you, people buy from people, and then they give you the next order. And I think that's the most motivating. So if I was going to give advice to a young guy or my own self back then, would be, see it as an opportunity. Don't see it as a demoralization.
Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, it's not an easy business, because like you got the big three manufacturers of gear and people have been using this brand for 20 years and getting them to like completely shift gears and, buy your product. That's a challenge.
Yeah, I guess, but like a Hexagon, we have a broad portfolio, and not everyone has the same portfolio of technology. So even you may not get a total station sale from because it's so dying the walled in the workflow of a total station, but you may sell mobile mapping, or you may sell and we've got that breadth of portfolio to allow them to sell something, and you're not converting a whole customer. Long gone are the days, I think, where a customer has one brand.
Right.
They'll multi-brand, they'll shop and change, but software helps, workflow helps, but again, service and support is a key.
Yeah, no question.
Do you still find yourself having to do a lot of I don't know, coaching or teaching to your customers, like about what what they need or what the tools can do?
I'm a little bit more fortunate in the sense of that when I go and see customers, it's kind of understanding what they're doing on a big project or a big task, and they're trying to explain what they're doing on a marketplace. So I'm actually learning from them.
Okay.
I'm updating my own knowledge of what they're actually doing. But then again, because you see things a little bit more strategically, maybe because of my position or what have you, then you're saying, well, why aren't you doing this with the product? Or have you ever thought about that? And they go, not really. And then, because you're meeting more commercial people or senior people, you're kind of not selling them technology. You're kind of selling them a direction or a strategy or an opportunity. And I think that's what I find quite motivating, that you senior people often don't know what's happening in the weeds, but you can explain what could happen, what's the benefit to their company. And that's why I get motivated.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, Hexagon seems like an amazing company to work for. How would you describe the culture of Hexagon?
Yeah, I'm kind of like a culture still, in the sense of, I'm based in Europe. We've just celebrated 100 years of innovation in Heerbrugg. It's very core. The Leica swish still carries a lot of credibility and equity in the marketplace, and we don't want to lose that.
Sure.
I was really chuffed when I found out that we're adopting the "when it has to be right" logo in Hexagon, because we're taking the strength of that. We really live by that "when it has to be right" in Leica across the whole piece. We're not perfect, but if we make mistakes, then we try to make it right, and we try to work on that.
Sure.
So it's not about being perfectionists; it's about trying to be right in lots of areas. And then Hexagon's adopted that, and then what Hexagon brought to us, which was right from the early days, 2005, 2006, was the 6 core values, which goes across all the businesses. And in that, entrepreneurial, and what have you, there's lots of different core values. And that's what binds us together. So we have our own identity in Geosystems, and now that's been merged into the new Hexagon with our own strapline. So I think the culture for me is quite consistent, but I've only ever worked in Europe. So I don't have experience in other parts of the world. So
sure.
What's your favorite use case of some equipment that you sold or you're a part of, where you drove by and you're like, that's mine and I helped do that?
I probably have the other way. Where's my least favorite use case where I think, oh shit, I did that wrong.
Yeah.
That's probably more like that, really. I guess it's involvement in the high pressure stuff. That's really thinking, well, that tunnel wouldn't be done without using equipment. The proudest one we've got at the moment, which is recent history, not my own personal history, is Hinkley Point Power Station, where they've just got so much Leica equipment on, and you go on there and you think, wow, 200 TS16s on one project. That's amazing.
100.
So anything that's used every day, 200 of them. Think, wow, yeah, that's a big project. So my earliest memory was selling on a dual carriageway 95, 96. Sold them 200 grand's worth at the time of total station, GPS, and what have you.
Yeah.
And I remember going on that project. I'm 23 years old, just come out of university. The chief surveyor goes, right, I'm not going to even entertain you talking about any of your technology until you can prove that you can use it. Go out there and set out that fence line, go and pick up a survey and come back and process it.
I love that.
And
awesome.
basically, I'm not going to entertain you unless you prove to me you know what you're doing. And I did that. And then I got the order. And so that was an early pride moment of like, tested. So I remember that's stuck
so
in there
cool.
for a while.
Yeah. It's kind of a fun question, I guess. What's the biggest sale you ever made?
Interesting. Yeah, of course, we've just lost the repeat of that order 10 years later. So the biggest sale I've been involved in was the UK military.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
UK military.
hundreds of total stations. But currently, like I say, this project down at Hinkley Point, that's many millions on one project. So,
wow.
So that, obviously that's a team effort.
So awesome.
And then I'm sure they've got the whole catalog out there between machine control and scanning.
They're
and
really interesting
remote
on that, where they use the BLK to go, which is a normal reality capture product, SLAM product. Yeah. They use that for setting out the safety walkways for evacuation on the site. Because the site's so big, they cover the site to do the safety plan of emergency exits. They use a BLK to go.
Wow.
The project's so big.
Wow. Amazing. So what else? What are you excited about for the show?
What I'm excited about is the networking, but actually I kind of know quite a lot what Geosystems does, and I should do in my position. Yeah. What I get excited about is listen to what the other divisions are doing at Hexagon. It's it's a catch up of what Hexagon is, and it always inspires me to come here with your own view of the business. You come here, you get the scale, you get the reawakening of the power of the broader Hexagon, and then I take that back to deliver the message of Hexagon into my region and with my own staff or with customers or what have you. So I think that's the bit I get excited about, is the keynotes, listen to the strategic direction and the bigger, broader Hexagon.
Awesome. Very cool. You got anything else, Sean?
No, I'm great.
Well, we appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man.
Very enjoyable. Thank you.
Had a lot of fun last night.
Great
and
to
enjoy
meet
the
you.
rest of the week.
Yep.
Thanks, chaps.
Thank you. How you feeling, buddy?
It's been a good day.
It's been a great day.
Yeah. Had a lot. I'm still ready, man.
Still got the motivation, got the fire in your belly.
I think it's hunger, but we did miss lunch, but
Hunger and thirst. I think the craving at this point.
I think so too.
Oh man, we got another one lined up. Another good one lined up here. Real quick, we got Matt. Matt, if you would give us your name, who you're with, and what you do.
Yeah, Matt Anderle with AECOM, Director of Digital Strategy. And as part of our team, we really focus on a lot of that digital innovation. And I run a robotics program that helps complement our reality capture program.
So Director of
Digital Strategy.
Digital. That is a new title. I have not heard that one before, but I kind of like it.
I mean, isn't that a big job? Doesn't that cover a lot of things?
It's a gigantic job. It covers everything from reality capture to BIM to SIM to operations and asset management. And like I mentioned, I run a robotics team.
And so do you have a pretty big group?
We do. We're about 85 strong.
That's a big group.
Yeah.
I mean, AECOM's huge, but
it is.
Still, that's a big group. So like reality capture falls under that, I'm assuming.
We're the go-to
twins,
team for anything that's digital transformation.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Give us some examples of that.
So like our robotics, we're advancing the way that we do reality capture. We've got a rover system that will take laser scanners up to 1,000 feet away from us, underground, above ground, in terrible conditions that we shouldn't send humans into. And doing that, we also collect sensorium information around that. So we're collecting environmental conditions, humidity, temperature, and things like that we're complementing with spherical video.
Oh, interesting.
And spherical video.
Yeah, go ahead and expand on that one.
So spherical video is a dome.
I see the sphere over here from my window in my hotel room. Is it kind of like that?
Imagine being inside the sphere and looking all around you, and you get video, high resolution.
Like a fisheye camera.
Exactly.
Is that what we're talking about?
So you can look any direction at any time in the video.
High definition.
Yeah. So it's not, you don't have to point it anywhere.
You don't.
Can you generate a point cloud from that?
you can generate photogrammetry from it.
Photogrammetry from it. Yeah, I got you. Okay. That's amazing.
But then, yeah, I'm just trying to wrap my head around the ball of the picture versus the flatness of what you look at it like.
Yeah. Well, you're just walking around like in a 3-dimensional.
And then you put it on a robot and send it off somewhere up to 1,000 feet.
And send it off. Correct.
Just like that. Hit the easy button, as you like to say. Send it off.
So when you look at the video, you can step back and make it a tiny world, right? You can see the whole
around and everything.
You can see the whole image at once, or zoom in and get that flat perception of a traditional lens.
Yeah.
And are you doing it mainly for the pictures and video or for measurement?
We're doing both. So we have lasers that project measurement tapes on the surface. And so the video captures that so you can measure things optically. But we're doing
almost like flashing up a tape measure on there.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Exactly. Calibrated up to like 12 feet from us. So as we're in like storm sewers and other low level conditions like sub basements, we can take measurements if there's any structural deformities or any types of inspection things of interest.
Yeah. So many uses for something like that.
Yeah.
Jeez. So like what I have to imagine a big part of your job is educating your clients, educating your internal clients, right? Like Absolutely. They come to you with a request or, something they need a solution for, and then you have to provide them with the best solution.
Our team is so inspired by technology that we're happy to share and upskill, right? We want our clients to have the best experience. We want our teams to provide the best solutions. And so part of the innovation factor is that if you come up with something new, you have to teach somebody what you've done and how they might leverage that for their purposes.
Yeah. So I have to imagine when you walk around here, there is a lot that gets you excited.
Absolutely. All of the keynotes. Any keynote today was exciting.
Yeah. What about like all the gear, the hardware that you're seeing as you walk around? What gets your blood pumping?
Well, the term "it's a very exciting time to be alive" is true. Certainly in my blood and all of my team members, because the advancements that we're making in the technological world is just so far-fetched. From the point that I've started in the industry, pre-computers and the way that we've advanced into BIM, and then that's grown into some of this digital twin components. Now the sensor technology and the ways that we're experiencing our existing conditions has improved so much. It's just, absolutely. It's such an exciting conference to be part of.
Pre-computers, you're not that old.
I am pre-computer.
No,
absolutely.
No, I find that hard to believe. So what about I'm sure you're constantly adjusting workflows, right?
Yep.
As you get a new piece of technology or something. I mean, what does that process look like when something like that happens?
It's ever evolving, right?
Yeah,
the way that machine learning and the cloud computing is changing the way that we approach data, the way that we can consume and perceive data. Anytime that we come up with a new approach, we have to kind of reevaluate how we leverage that, how we optimize it, and then how do we deliver it? Because the saturation of information that we're getting just on these jobs and the technology we're using is inhuman, right? There's no way for us to perceive this.
Yeah.
So we have to find new ways to bring that to a human scale. So millions of points down to something that we can perceive.
Yep. Yeah. And how do you manage all that data? Because there's a ton of it.
It's a lot in the cloud, right?
It's all in the cloud,
we're pushing most of that to cloud because we're processing the cloud, coming up with analytics, simulations, forecasting, all that's through cloud computing.
Yeah. So what about the end users, whether it be your internal client or an external client? They got to be pretty jazzed about the stuff that you're able to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way that we expose them to that sort of technology is changing as well, right? They're becoming more accustomed to that level of involvement, right? That level of data consuming. And the ways that they're leveraging it is going to advance it the same way that we're collecting. So we want to make sure that we're part of that full life cycle of buildings or infrastructure, because it's ever evolving the way that as society we're advancing how we manage and operate our infrastructure.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, improving, right?
Constantly, right? Yeah, constantly. So working for a large firm like AECOM, I'm sure you get to work on some really cool projects. Are there maybe a couple that maybe you've worked on or one that you're working on now that really gets you out of bed in the morning in a good mood?
Absolutely. All of our projects, of course, are exciting at AECOM. Yeah. The big infrastructure projects really are the most rewarding for us. It's something that we really accelerate in, and One of the most recent ones that I'm coming off is Gordie Howe International Bridge, connecting U.S. and Canada. It's one of the longest cable stayed bridge in North America. So that one's very exciting for us.
Yeah.
As you saw in the announcements, AECOM's been named the design build partner for the Olympics.
Yeah.
That's a project
that's right.
under our purview. And then we have a lot of work with the infrastructure, so airports and rail and a lot of those types of projects around America.
Yeah. Where are you based?
I'm in Ohio. Our
Ohio,
team's based on what we call the U.S. East, so it's the
Gotcha.
eastern half of the U.S.
Yeah. So like for the Olympic stuff, will you get to travel, hang out in California and work on some of these projects?
Absolutely. Also, part of my job is to make sure that we can work as one team around the world.
Nice.
So some of that is proving that you don't have to travel. Well, we also need to be connected as a team.
Awesome.
Will that be the most, I don't know what the word is, but probably the most scanned Olympic village ever? I mean, or the most digital, like, digital going to be like that immersive experience.
It has a trajectory of being the most digitally designed Olympic.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's cool.
How cool to be a part of that. That's like one of those career defining opportunities.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
Potentially. I'm sure something bigger is going to come along.
Talk a little bit about the team, and or not necessarily your team, but how is it finding robotics engineers and guys to bring into the department? How is that as a career?
It is a cross section of a lot of our different talents. So we have team members that aren't roboticists, but we dabble in that kind of technology and in hobby and scale and rapid prototyping ourselves. We took all of our brains, put them together, and came up with some robots.
Yeah.
We're advancing that, though. We've hired programmers and other team members to kind of accelerate that for us.
Yeah.
But it's one of those necessities that we find with our job and the safety that we're trying to implore for our team members, that we want to make the conditions the safest for us while improving our services. Yeah, so definitely. Robotics is just a natural fit for the type of work that we have to do.
Right.
What's your background? Are you a surveyor by trade or?
No, I'm actually architecture. So master's degree architecture and computer programming as a minor. And that somehow translates to robots, BIM, sim, and asset management.
Well, I think it definitely translates to BIM. I mean, that's probably what the first thing.
Yeah. So are like, and this might be me just not understanding it. So are like digital twins taking the place of BIM?
Digital twin is an evolution of BIM.
Okay.
So just like CAD to BIM was a great advancement in our industry, digital twin is that second step now where you're taking a model of exacting conditions, what I call it, and applying real-time data saturation with sensors and other mechanisms to understand the performance of those assets. So you have a virtual representation of physical, but then you have sensors connecting you to that physical asset so you can manage and maintain it in real time.
Interesting.
Do you see it being, are you on the digital delivery bandwagon of eventually here, we're not even going to have obviously not paper plans, but never even actually have them in a PDF, that it just exists in a model?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Paper and PDFs and flat generated drawings are going to be a thing of the past, maybe in the next 5 years.
So, really? Is there any markets or area that's really accelerating in that drive that you think is going to kind of push it first?
I think those industries that are really advancing in BIM and the operation of their buildings, somebody who's using a full complement of asset management environment ecosystem along with that complement of models and tracking assets, will find that the paper versions of drawings and documentation is becoming a way of the past, right? Models are so much more informative and intelligent models are really what drives the ability to construct it, validate, commission it, and then operate it.
Yeah. Since I'm a land surveyor, talk about the importance of having a land surveyor involved with reality capture.
It's paramount. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Softball.
I just want to hear him say it.
No, absolutely. It has to be a complement of those intelligence factors when you go and do that kind of data collection, right? You need somebody to design, develop, collect, and then validate. You're instrumental in that success.
Yeah. See that? I'm instrumental.
You just need to be validated a lot.
Constant validation.
Yes.
Oh man. What else? What else are you excited about? What are you excited about seeing around here?
honestly, the new technology really that's coming out now.
Yeah. Is there anything that's like blowing your mind?
Well, the new robots, the humanoid robots that they introduced, right? Trying to help complement what we're doing as a society with kind of that augmented machine and robotics autonomy. That's going to be, again, the way of the future, right? We're already using robots for manufacturing assembly, but having the versatility of a human represented in a machine and be able to complement the things we do, that's also going to help us with, safety and security.
Yeah, definitely. Security, big one.
Well said.
Big one. Yeah. Oh, you got anything else, Sean?
I mean, we could talk for hours about.
It's only day one, buddy.
I am curious about size. What's the smallest you've gotten? Because I keep picturing a scanner on a robot that just goes. What's the smallest one that you got, or what's the tightest space that you had to do?
So the smallest rover we have is called Trike. It's a 3-wheeled rover. It has a center steering pin, so the wheels don't turn, but the center frame of it twists, just like earth movers do.
Wow.
And that will fit into an 8-inch opening with like a BLK to go on.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. So cool.
And you know where I'm going with this now.
Sure.
What's the biggest one that you put on, or the biggest application?
Sure. So the largest rover we have is about the size of a trash can lid, and it will actually lower itself down or raise itself up based on the conditions it's trying to get through, and help us to navigate some of those really challenging spaces.
Are you a big fan of battle bots?
Absolutely.
Who isn't that shit? I freaking love that shit. So good. Those guys struck gold with that.
Yeah, they really did.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, I don't have anything else. We appreciate your time. It's been great.
Yeah.
Glad we got to have this conversation.
Love your podcast, guy.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Have a good rest of the show.
Absolutely.
Yep. Thank you.